Hey, hey, Facebook land. I am back out here on the porch of pain, my gym, my back porch gym. And we're going to talk again about, about marketing ugly, about generating sales, getting some money in the door. Today, I want to ask you, I want to beg you, buy a damn stamp, would you? I understand that online media, online ad networks, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, I understand they generate a lot of money. I understand you can target people nicely with them. And I understand you can start doing ads for as little as a few dollars a day. You don't even have to pay for it until sometimes a week or more after you run the ad. In other words, you're paying in arrears instead of in advance. I get it. I understand. However, it's also extraordinarily crowded. Online media in any niche you're going to talk about is very crowded. But there's less and less and less showing up in the mailbox. Now, what have I said? I said that the whole point of marketing ugly is to do the opposite of what most people are doing. If most people are doing beautiful marketing, you do ugly marketing. If most people are doing ugly marketing, you do beautiful marketing, meaning from a design perspective. But if everybody is flooding online and nobody's buying any stamps and mailing anything, then guess what? That means that you can show up in relative anonymity. Now, when I say anonymity, I mean you can mail these pieces without Facebook looking at what you're mailing, without Google looking at what you're mailing, without competitors looking at what you're mailing, right? You can drop this stuff in the mail and nobody sees it, for the most part, except for your prospects. So that's number one. It's harder to swipe. You can do this sometimes for years before anybody even knows you exist. That's power. That's power in the marketplace. You can make millions in sales doing direct mail pieces, and none of your competitors will have any clue. So that's nice because it's anonymous. It's also nice because you're showing up in a vacuum. All right? So none of your other competitors are showing up in the mailbox, and you're showing up in your prospect's mailbox. Show up in a vacuum. Yes. That's the right way to pitch. That's the right way to sell. Not among 15 other Facebook ads and 18 other Facebook groups and four people who are four of your competitors who are remarketing the same person, so that every time they see an ad for your niche, they just glaze over because they're getting swamped with it. But when it shows up in the mail, they stop and take a look. Look at the postcard, open the letter, right? Why wouldn't they? It just makes sense. There's nobody else trying to beat them up. There's nobody else trying to sell to them in that way. Whereas there's all kinds of people trying to sell to them when they get online. So you can show up in a vacuum of other sales pitches. You can do so anonymously. And even though you got to pay a little money up front, you can test until you can scale. Scaling also becomes much, much easier when you're talking about doing mail and doing offline stuff. Yes, you still have to test. Yes, it's possible to scale something and have it fall off. Many a direct mail person has tested 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 pieces and then went to roll out 100, 150,000 mailing and it flopped. That happens. So I'm not suggesting that you roll out 100 or 150,000 person mailing. But you can do 10,000 people a week, and every week you can check and make sure it's working. And if it doesn't work, if something changes, you can go back and make some adjustments. So scaling becomes much easier, and you're in a vacuum, and you're reasonably anonymous. So buy a stamp. It is well worth the time. Now, of course, there's a big discussion about lists and about where to find them and how to manage your mailing lists and et cetera, et cetera. So that's a big discussion that I'd be happy to have with somebody if they feel like that they, that they want to start doing some offline marketing stuff, some direct mail, or even some media buying, magazines, newspapers, etc. And then, of course, there's what media do you use offline? So if you're using direct mail, let's just take direct mail, for example. Are you doing tear sheets? Are you doing postcards? Are you doing personalized letters? Are you doing something that looks more business, business to consumer, like what you might see with credit card companies, with teaser copy on the outside of the envelope, etc.? What kind of direct mail are you using? Magalogs, etc., etc. So there's all different kinds of questions to ask. So it's not just, I'm not saying that this is easy, that it's uncomplicated, and that everybody can do it like you're waving a magic wand. What I am saying is that when you get the structures, when you get the systems in place and worked out, it's well worth every penny that you invested. So anyway, that's all for today. Go out there and make some money. Talk to you soon. Cheers.